Welcome to Kyalami. It's been a minute since this track has been in rotation, so I decided to jump in the Honda Civic. It is a long race, so it is 30 minutes in total. I'm going to move over to the left hand side, let everybody pass. I'm looking at my driving styles at the moment, and really my weak point heavily is overtaking. Now, I put myself into situations that I shouldn't, while sometimes I should put myself into certain situations and actually be more committed to the overtake or plan it out better anyway. So what's better to do than sit back at the bottom end of the track and pretty much work your way up? Now, there is a lot of cars to work through, which is actually really convenient because I'm going to start looking at a situation, assessing it and thinking what's best to do, while not only that, I'm setting up the overtake as well. So some situations that you have to play the car in front of you to a point where you manipulate their movement into a position that you want them to be. The car on my left is clearly manipulating the position they want to be in by holding me out wide and having contact with myself whilst I'm going in a straight line. So Honda Civic with, actually I quite like the logo at the bottom there. Over you go, my friend. Thank you very much, and thankfully no penalty for that situation either. Coming up here, we want to overtake the fart can. Who doesn't want to overtake the fart can because it is annoying, and I still don't understand why their window's open. Thankfully they're turned in onto the apex whilst I'm up the inside, because clearly there is no car in the inside when you turn in for an apex. Just saying. Coming down the hill, we are trying to catch up to the green fart can up in front and see if we can make a move upon them. Now, the green Hyundai is a pretty quick car. The standard livery Honda Civic has been off track and come back on. So, switch move there. And thankfully, they also do back out for this corner as well. So, I presume they're didn't want to cause me any inconvenience by when they rejoined the track and being in the way, so thank you very much to that driver right there. Again though, we, due to the situation, have lost a little bit of time from the car up in front, so we're going to come down this hill, brake at the 100-meter board, down to second gear, turning in, and then holding the line as much as we can, accelerating out of the corner, onto the curb on the right hand side, up the hill we go, keep it over to the right here, braking at the triangle on the left, down the second gear, turning in, over the curb, accelerating out the other side. These two cars up in front are clearly having some fun together, and hopefully I can follow the Hyundai through this corner, just give them a little bit of a kiss to get up there, and sadly I just didn't have the momentum and the Audi managed to take that position, so we're going to go up the inside of the Audi here, braking down the second gear, turning in. Contact has been made because, again, I must hit the apex syndrome has kicked in, and whilst there is a car on the inside, it is irrelevant to the situation. But I must hit the apex. Coming round here now, we have given the Hyundai a little bit of a kiss again, and up the hill we go. Now, this is one of the sweet moves I do like to take. Up the inside here, onto the curb, and then accelerating out the other side. I love making that move, as many of you may well be aware. There is a great shoot up the inside there. Hold that curb as much as you can inside, and then coming out that corner. Hyundai has backed off in that corner. It is really awful. If you don't get that angle right there, you are going gardening. So I guess they already knew that. Honda Civic had a mountain of understeer. The DHL livery is not helping. I guess it must be the weight of all those parcels in there. Had a little bit of contact and accelerating out the other side, braking at the 50-meter board, braking down the second gear, turning in, kiss to the curb, and accelerating out the other side. Hopefully, well, I was hoping I'll actually have a better run than I have at the moment. So I'm going to have Lady Slipstream on my side here as I make a move to the inside. Now, I want to keep them to the right. Come on, over you go. Thank you. Pushing them over a little bit. I want as much of this corner as I can as I break down the second gear, turn in. Try and close that door so there's no switch on the inside, as I was planning to make that move, and accelerate it out of that corner. Thankfully, again, no penalty from the contact that we have had. Coming up here, we need to catch up to El Spano UK. They are 2 seconds away, and thankfully, actually, we're also 1.3 seconds away from the car behind. Catching up to El Spano up in front, they're having some fun with this Astra. So I'm going to make a move up the inside of this Astra here now. A little bit of a kiss there, straighten myself out. We are side by side, turning in for this corner now. They gave me a lovely little kiss to cut that corner, and the penalty system says I did an illegal pass. Yeah, I didn't really get much choice in that matter. I've got to be honest. They hit the car and the car just turned. There really wasn't much input from myself to encourage that turn. So, illegal pass? Yeah, it would be illegal if I had a choice in the matter, which I clearly didn't. But breaking at the 100-meter board and having gained that position, the Astra is not happy up the inside and gives me a rear end kiss. So coming up the hill we go. Want to actually really get away from the Astra because last thing we need is to have a few rear end shunts, which would probably or could push us off the track. Going up the outside of this Honda Civic right now, not the best place to be. So we'll be breaking down the 4th gear, and was hoping that we both go through quite safely. But it is quite a funny corner. So I do have the inside of this next corner. I'm going to keep it as tight as I can. As you can see, the Honda Civic had to back off. So with that corner there, if you can make it round too wide through there, you lined up perfectly for the next corner. And that's the part that strategically I need to be a bit more aggressive with, is planning up for the second corner, not overtaking on the first. Just lining your targets up just nicely. Now we are on to make a move on Blue Banana, who is in the Audi on the right hand side. Going up the inside of this corner now. I want to give him a bit of space and then push him over to the right a little bit. So we'll be braking again at the 100 board here, down to 2nd gear, turning in. As you can see, we're pretty much side by side, but it's not this corner that we must be wary of, as they are getting very close. It's this corner here. We want to line ourselves up for the inside there, kiss of that curb, and accelerating out the other side. Now I am still ahead. I'm defending, widely defending to be fair, lazily glistening over to left-hand side, just to make sure they don't get that line. But they had a slightly better run, and I slightly went, I think, wide. I would have said that's wide. The penalty system did not. So coming around this corner now, we have kept the line. Just gone into that sand patch, which is kind of dangerous. Coming around this corner now, back end steps out and has me to a shocker. So pretty much lost all my momentum now, and the Audi has managed to overtake again. Frustratingly, but maybe next time I line up my corners better and I won't have the back end overtaking me and making a mockery of the whole situation. So coming down here now, we need to overtake Blue Banana again. Really, this corner down the bottom of the hill is actually a really nice place to make a move. It's lining up the cars in the place you want them to be, but remember, you must brake at that 100-meter board at the latest, as I got totally distracted by the ghostly car. So yeah, just bearing in mind you must brake at the 100-meter board, because any later than that can be a little bit dicey. Over this curb we go, big crunch from underneath the car, doesn't matter, it's insured. So coming around this corner now, I tell you what though, it would be interesting. We had like a BeamNG damage model, like you've seen that game. If you haven't, it's like it's just a realistic body physics game. Imagine going over that curb in the BeamNG, just end up ripping the sump off every single time. And it'd just be a pure oil trail and everybody else would just spin on the oil trail. Oh yeah. It would be interesting to see. It would be quite funny, to be fair. Anyway, coming up the hill we go. We want to try and actually catch up a bit of pace to this Audi up in front and really start setting, that was a good exit, a better time overall. I didn't realise actually we were up to position 8. Holy crap. Not done too bad overall, considering I started off with what technically would be position 20. Right, now setting up for these corners up ahead. You can see now the quick swing over there as they tried to defend the situation. No problem. I am a patient person, and my corner, which I love doing the overtakes on, is coming up just nicely. We want to get right on this corner, on the throttle as early as possible, get a run up this hill as much as we can, and hopefully they bed over to the right hand side here. I'm going to swing over to the left, up the inside, down the 2nd gear, turning in, and a little bit of a kiss, a bit of contact as we both got very close to each other. but nobody was disadvantaged to the tiny bit of touring car leaning, shall we say. Come around this corner now on the inside there. Hopefully they back out, which they pretty much have. Breaking down the second gear, turning in, and away we go. Again, that is one of the corners at the top of that hill that I really absolutely send it, and just, it's one of those corners you could just make it work. So coming over to the right side now, the Audi is going in for a tyre change. We're going to hold off for a minute because I want to go from hard to medium tyres. So I'm going to keep out for a little bit longer. Talking about keeping out for a little bit longer, I do have this Honda Civic behind me who has been waiting patiently to overtake. To be fair, and credit where credit is due to Bob Steverts beside me. I'm going to give them the position because they are on a far better tyre compound than myself, as well as my tyres are worn out now. Why is that car still in the race, just ghosted? And if they're position 16, I guess 4 people's quit up to now. But yeah, sometimes it's better to surrender a position to a faster car. But my plan is now to jump into the pits and get a new set of tyres. I'm going to go into medium tyres. And if I've planned this out right, this should last the entirety of the race. But whilst we are in here, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which are Jeffrey Anderson, Andy Good, Cinematic, DMC Motorsport, Daniel Adams, Crazy 8, AK47, and Sapphire. Thank you guys ever so much for supporting the channel. And if you enjoy what you're watching here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to join the Discord as well. We do have a Discord, link is in the description, and it'd be awesome to meet you all. One thing I'd like to point out is coming out of the pits is I like to follow the pit exit line relatively closely, and I wish there would be like a penalty for anybody that crosses over that line before the end of the run. It's not the first time I've come down the hill at 200 miles per hour and the guy's just come out of the pits and just yeeted it straight over in front of me, and I've not braked. Like, you know, you made your own bed there. I'm doing 200 miles per hour, you're doing 70. If you agree with what I say, don't forget to hit the like button and let me know down in the comments below. Trying to make a move on the Elantra to the right hand side, they again have the inside line of this next corner. So if I can plan this out right, either they back out or I have the inside line in the next corner. I just didn't have the bottle, to be fair, and I pretty much thought they were going to ride me off the track, which they could have done. Like, you know, it is a chance you're willing to take. I know the Elantra is a very quick car, so I was kind of nervous about the speed they may carry into that corner. But they have made it through with the rear end happily tailing out, and hopefully if I can plan this out right, I can make my lovely corner overtake at the top of this hill here. Braking, yes, they brake nice and early, down the second gear, turning in, holding that inside line. They're going to try and make a switch there. I'm on that power as soon as I can, and accelerating out the other side. We are up to position 6. Oh my. And don't forget, we are on the soft tyres, so hopefully we'll have better grip to go with it. Whilst the other people that pitted at lap, what was it, 8, end of lap 8, they're going to be on hard tyres again, so I am nothing but going to be reeling it in. That's the plan anyway. Just need to overtake Zoysia. Zoysia. Is that how you pronounce that? Zoysia? Yeah. More than welcome to laugh at me in the comments down below about my pronunciation of more, I would say, difficult names. Coming down the hill, there is the green Honda Civic I let pass earlier. Coming down the hill, this is what I mean, crossed over out of the pit exit line. And okay, they're starting to slowly match our speed, but it's still, yeah, it's a situation that I think, stay in the pit line. Stay in the pit line. It's just nicer. But Bob Steverts is a very fair driver from what I've seen up to now. So I'm not overly concerned because it's not like they've dived in the way of anything else like that. They pretty much took themselves into a gap that was sort of given by accident. I should have defended a little bit better, probably got up behind Zoysia more, or created a better situation for myself. Getting really actually close up to this Honda Civic right now and applying a little bit of pressure. I'm kind of curious if they're doing the 3-stop or 2-stop soft tyre strategy. I'm not too sure. If that is the case, would they make another 5 more laps? I don't know if I can keep the pressure on and take the inside dive here and totally mess it up and look like an absolute idiot doing so. Yeah. Ooh. Elantra, do you mind? I'm trying to have a discussion here. Yeah, Bob Stevens, that is my mistake right there. I am sorry, buddy. Absolute, just poor planning of that move, because I got to the top of the hill and I braked just after Bob Stevens, which is actually past my own braking zone. And I wasn't straight either. I was at a conk of an angle, so I'm straight myself up whilst braking. Just totally fluffed it all up. So we all do make mistakes, it happens, and thankfully Bob Stevens didn't get sent off to oblivion, and thankfully I didn't get a penalty for it either. But there is always a next time. Again, we are up to position 6, sending it down here now, looking out for the 100 board, breaking it down to second gear, turning in, and kissing that curb on the left, accelerating out the other side. Really, I think both me and Bob Stevens need to overtake Zoyza, and I think then we'll be able to start increasing our overall lap times and pretty much getting away from the Elantra behind us, as well as Zoyza. Looking at the map now, the pack up in front is quite a bit of a distance. Whether I'll be able to catch up to that if I'm in the next, 4 laps, I don't know, it's going to be quite difficult. Unless something happens. Yeah, you never know. Look, it is a long race, it's 30 minutes long, and some people just don't do well in 13-minute races and get easily distracted. Who knows? But we are getting a great line up this hill here now. I'm going to keep to the right hand side here and pretty much brake at the top of the hill, down in second gear. Zoyza did my move up the inside of the Audi, and because I did that, it opened a door for myself to do the old switch on the Audi. Poor Audi lost 2 positions in one corner, and I managed to make it through with Bob Stevens up in front. So now we're both working together, we can get a bit of pace on, and braking down in second gear, turning in, touch of the curb on the right hand side, and accelerating out of this corner. Blue Banana quit. Oh, that was that Audi from earlier. Crunch of the undercarriage over that corner there, and braking at the 50-meter board here, down in second gear, turning in, accelerating out the other side. Pretty much want to keep up with Bob Stevens here and try and get a bit of a slipstream, get away from that car behind. I'm 0.3 seconds away from the car in front, and thankfully now 0.8 seconds away from the car behind. So they are no longer going to be in the slipstream. Bob Stevens is taking, well, was taking an unusual line there, going quite wide out and coming back in. Probably trying to break a little bit of the toe and accelerating out to the side. Thankfully though, the slipstream in this game isn't as powerful as it once was, so losing the toe at more of a higher speed like that isn't as effective as it once was. Still a little bit of change, but really was at the latter end of the run anyway, so yeah, it didn't really matter overall all that much. I do believe they may well be on soft tyres up ahead, because they do seem to have a little bit better grip and corner exit than myself. And they're now 0.6 seconds away, so yeah, I can only presume they're on soft tyres. If that's the case though, it'll be great if I do manage to keep up with them and then can really reel them in, because if I do overtake them, it means I've got position 4. Again, I very much doubt I'm going to be able to get any better than that, because the other cars look like they are a long way away. There's 1, 2, 3, 4... Wait, hold on. The maps don't add up there. That must be a ghostly car in there somewhere. Anyway, breaking down the second gear, turning in and accelerating out of the other side. Coming back over here again, be careful of that curb on your left hand side. It can be a bit dusty, is the best way of putting it, and it can upset the balance of the car ever so slightly. Braking out the 50 board here, down the second gear, turning in and accelerating out the side. Now actually catching up to Bob Stevens up in front. I wonder if we're going to be able to make a move coming down this section here. It's kind of hard when you both got the same kind of power in the car. But I'm going to take the right hand line here and try and... Yeah, I was going to hopefully keep them a bit more wide, but they pretty much pushed me over and actually backed out of that corner there. I guess they didn't want any form of contact, and unless they actually know their tyres are starting to wear as well, and just pretty much surrender position because they know I'm going to be pulling for a little bit longer. Either way, great racing for me and Bob Stevens. I enjoyed racing with that person. So Bob, if you ever see this, awesome. Thank you ever so much. And again, sorry for that contact where I went straight into your door. That was a bit of a rough bang, that was. Oh, that was literally like a facepalm moment of whoosh. Coming out the other side, we have this in the bag, really, providing that I don't fall off the track, and manage to make this work. Hopefully, if I can keep my pace up, I may well reel the cars in a little bit like I have now. They are only 15 seconds away, where the 2 laps ago they were 17 seconds away. But Bob Stevens is almost 4 seconds away as coming out of this corner. So yeah, also we are minor wear on our tyres, which I think are actually overall planned out extremely well. And it couldn't get any better than that, let's be honest. But let me know what you think down in the comments below as we come around this final few corners of the track. Do you think there's anywhere I could have overtaken better? Any situations that I may have missed? Or any situations I could have encouraged more to deliver? But it'd be great to know what you think down in the comments below. Coming across the line in a position for 5.5 seconds away from Bob Stevens behind, 15 seconds away from the cars up in front. Not too bad overall, actually far better than what I actually anticipated, especially from starting at the back. Wow, a lot of people quit. Only 12 players left at the end of that. Oh, one got DQ'd. BMS Edgar. I don't remember overtaking that car. Oh, well, they got DQ'd. Wow. What do you say to that, eh? See you next time.